And extreme weather has deeply impacted the United States over the last year. Now wildfires are burning in part of South Carolina. Are these signs of climate change or is it something else? We'll ask the executive director of the Climate Science Coalition of America, Steve Gorham, about this and more. But first, let's go to Fiora Hernandez with our headlines. Fiora.
Thank you, Greg. A fallout continued over the weekend after the tense meeting on Friday with President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky in the Oval Office. In a Truth Social post on Friday, Trump called it a very meaningful meeting where truth was revealed under fire and pressure. The Telegraph reported it as, quote, beyond a worst-case scenario for Ukraine, while Reuters claimed an anonymous source said DOJ would be investigating large sums of U.S. economic and security assistance to Ukraine. On Saturday, Zelensky posted a long message that included a renewed willingness to enter a rare minerals agreement with the United States, writing, quote, we are ready to sign the minerals agreement, and it will be the first step towards security guarantees. But it's not enough, and we need more than that. A ceasefire without security guarantees is dangerous for Ukraine. Ukrainian people need to know that America is on our side. A U.S. military security guarantee was a no-go for President Trump, saying a U.S. partner in the mineral deal was sufficient security against Russia. Here is what White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt had to say about the confrontation.
Unfortunately for Zelensky, I think he refuses to recognize the practical reality of this war. It's been going on for years. His countrymen are dying, and the people who have been funding this effort, the American people, are sick and tired of footing this bill.
Leavitt confirmed that Zelensky was asked to leave the White House and told by President Trump that he could come back when he was ready for peace.
Zelensky was in the White House today and had a real chance to sign an economic agreement that would have been great for the American people to recoup our tax dollars and great for the Ukrainian people to rebuild their country. And unfortunately, he blew the deal up in his own face.
Later on Friday, Zelensky sat for a pre-scheduled interview with Fox News where he all but refused to apologize for his actions in the Oval Office. Democrats like Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut are being blamed for advising Zelensky to cancel the deal he had agreed to with Secretary of State Marco Rubio before flying to the United States. Mike?
For President Donald Trump's decision to fire the head of the Office of Special Counsel was struck down over the weekend. U.S. District Judge Amy Berman Jackson late on Saturday denied the president's decision and power to fire Hampton Dillinger, who was confirmed at the end of last year. In the ruling, Judge Jackson indicated the Office of the Special Counsel was meant to be independent of the president since it oversees executive branch ethics and whistleblower complaints. Shortly after the ruling came down, the Justice Department appealed her decision to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. The case will likely end up at the U.S. Supreme Court. An email sent on Friday to U.S. Department of Education employees offers some of the workforce $25,000 to resign or retire. The deadline to make that decision is said to be midnight tonight. For those that accept the deal, they will work reportedly until the end of this month. The Education Department, which was created during the Carter administration, has upwards of 4,400 employees and a 2024 fiscal year budget of about $238 billion. A similar buyout offer was made last week to SEC employees. According to Reuters, they were offered $50,000 to retire or resign, with a decision date said to be March 21st. A joint effort over 2 days last week in Texas led to the seizure of more than $500,000 in cash. Breitbart reports that Border Patrol agents, in cooperation with sheriffs in Live Oak and Fayette counties, stopped vehicles and seized the money believed to be related to cash smuggling. In posts on X, Border Patrol Chief Michael Banks shared that on Thursday in Fayette County, officials found approximately $280,000 in cash hidden in a vehicle, and on Friday in Live Oak County, $267,000 was hidden under the back seat of a vehicle there. The driver and passengers in Live Oak were arrested in charges of money laundering and unlawful use of criminal instruments, while the driver in Fayette was arrested on charges of bulk cash smuggling. Greg.
Thanks, Mike. The Department of Defense announced on Saturday that it was deploying more troops to help seal the border and protect territorial integrity of the United States. Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered deployment of the Stryker Brigade Combat Team and General Support Aviation Battalion to reinforce and expand current border security operations. USA Today has reported the deployment will consist of 3,000 troops with armored vehicles An announcement by the U.S. Northern Command on Friday indicated another 1,140 troops were mobilized to support the southern border mission. All of this on top of the 1,500 troops the Pentagon sent to the southern border in January. Joining us now is retired United States Army Lieutenant Colonel Victory News contributor Vanessa Hicks Calloway. Welcome back to Victory News.
Thank you, Greg. I am always thrilled to be back here with you on Victory Channel News.
Thank you so much. The Trump administration now has taken the southern border crisis seriously. It's securing it rapidly. In addition to the next wave of troops the United States military is sending in Arizona, Governor Katie Hobbs announced Operation Desert Guardian. Now, here's Co-Chief County Sheriff Mark Daniels. He's responding to the governor's change of heart on securing the border.
Public safety is not politicized in the fact that it's based on politics. It's based on people and the rule of law. If we can focus on that, we can get back to our country when it comes to not just Arizona, but throughout the country. I welcome this from our governor. Looking forward to see what it's all going to be all about when it comes to the details, but we will partner with our governor to protect our citizens.
Are you surprised that a Democrat governor signed an executive order to establish a joint task force to disrupt the cartels, drug and human trafficking?
Actually, no, Greg, I am not surprised at all. And I really believe that this may have a lot to do with the USAID funding being brought to a halt as it relates to non-governmental organizations that were operating within some of these sanctuary territories. So these governors are starting to realize, wait a minute, we don't have the funds that we need to try to maintain these areas where they were maintaining illegal aliens. So I think the USAID effort is starting to really gain some momentum. So, and also, I believe that these Democrats, these governors are starting to feel more empowered. They're not so threatened by the progressives and social media that would come against them to do what I consider to be the right thing. So I do think we have great days ahead as it relates to Democrat governors and the border.
That's interesting, seeing how the state governments may be changing their opinions.